Okay, what's going on today? I guess this was kind of a funny one and I guess different. For some odd reason recently, why has there been more people allegedly, I guess, flying drones around baseball games? Like, people are just that bored, I guess, during the pandemic? Well, this one here you can see was posted by the Los Angeles Dodgers, and I guess during a live game there was a drone there which caused delays, I guess, and someone was being interviewed. I guess it's his reaction, which is kind of interesting and different.
It seems like we got a little bit of a situation with a drone here.
What's this? Oh, there's a drone above you?
Above me, probably, because I'm doing this interview.
Are they creeping on you?
They're telling us.
Did you do something wrong?
They're taking us to clear the field. I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. No, I don't feel safe.
So overall, it's like he was poking fun at the idea where a lot of people, when they think of a drone, it's, oh no, they're spying on you. It's gonna fire like a weapon on you. And basically that's what the reaction everyone has online too, basically just laughing at it. I think that's kind of refreshing, where a lot of people nowadays, I think they need to realize that too. It makes me genuinely wonder whether or not it's mainstream enough where people aren't necessarily freaking out about it, like thinking it has like a weapon or whatever. In this case, like, oh, I don't feel safe and all that. Because I think that's necessary, like that's the first step to stop things like hysteria and all that. Granted, you'll have people doing dumb things with it, like I guess here, if someone's flying like a drone into the stadium, but overall that's not a reason to go over the top concern. I mean, use some rational thoughts and facts when dealing with this stuff. And with things like pandemic and stuff still going on here, although I think people are going to fight over this, apparently right now a lot of places they demand that you wear a mask if it's indoors, whereas most doctors and stuff, they say outdoors is very little risk, if any. And apparently there's people who actually want to advocate for, I guess, people to wear masks in any public space in general. Like this one says, 1,000-sign petition to make masks mandatory in BC public spaces. The petition was started by Vancouverite Ben Hines, who says as new case counts rise, mandatory masks in public spaces could play a critical role in curbing transmission rates of COVID-19. Now is the time to capitalize on our hard work by mandating mandatory mask usage in shared public spaces, the petition reads. Oh, that's going to be really controversial, especially when they say public spaces. Isn't technically a park, for example, a public space? Or, for example, people playing tennis, even though they're across like so far from each other, that's technically a public space too, right? So basically this is demanding that everyone like that wear a mask. I don't think that's going to sit too well. It makes me wonder, what are people reading when they come up to conclusions like this? Like, for example, to wear a mask in outdoor environments no matter what in public spaces. So technically a person hiking in a mountain or something like that where there's no one there, they're gonna have to be mandated to wear a mask. Because even from like the doctors here, like one of the most prolific ones, like that Dr. Bonnie Henry here, it says here with an article in the past, please go outside. COVID-19 much less likely to spread outdoors, Dr. Bonnie Henry says. The risk would be infamously small if somebody walks by you, but it's important to keep your distance. That's been the most consistent theme too, I guess, in terms of protection and stuff like that. It's not the mask, it's basically keeping your distance. That's the most important thing. Because from my understanding, a lot of these masks, they actually don't help at all because the particles are so small. So it depends on the type of mask you wear too. So yeah, that is the most important thing, like keeping your distance and so forth, according to all this stuff I read. To my understanding too, there's been people who had things like hospital surgery and stuff delayed because of this, like the way it's currently being handled. So is that not more important, like taking care of that person like with cancer or something like that too? I mean, it's something to think about, isn't it? Like trying to understand every single angle as opposed to like this. I always get the impression where if they're like, oh, this has to be mandatory in every single way, it's more like people just looking at their own situation, like that's it. I guess my example would be in reading all this. Let's just say there's 1,000 people and 999 people are perfectly able to, I guess, in a sense, carry on, do their work and all that. At the same time, their body can handle like this virus. Would it make sense where if there's one person who's basically completely vulnerable, there's no way they can survive, we know 100% they'll die once they get it, does it make sense to then force the 999 people to wear like a full-on mask, for example, that blocks every single virus every single day of their lives, close down every single shop and all that for this one person? Or does it make sense to put your resources in a way where it says, okay, how can we run like normal while protecting this one person or whatever? Wouldn't it make more sense just to have that one person wear like that full-on mask and all that as well? I mean, that's something to think about, unless someone can give me like another perspective why that doesn't make more sense overall. Which brings up the point too, if you're gonna mandate masks, like for example, like in an indoor environment where there's gonna be tons of people and all that, then it has to be the right kind of mask. Because what's the point overall if you're trying to give people a false sense of security where they wear a mask that doesn't really do much, and you cram people in a room like a pack of sardines thinking it's okay? Like, that's just worse, because even like the doctors say that's probably like the least effective method to protect people. The best method is to actually stay apart and all. That's what they say. So yeah, it's just gonna create more protests and riots and stuff like that. It'll just be interesting again to see in the end who was right and who was wrong in terms of implementing the most practical safety procedure without, I guess, destroying everything else per se. Alright, see you guys later.